The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stuprich.
And I'm Ryan Risky. We're just kind of talking about, we're going to briefly continue our talk about kind of the championship parades. In 2005, do you remember where the White Sox had their parade? I didn't care.
I think it was like where the Hawks had their first one.
Okay, on that street.
Yeah, is that Michigan Avenue? I don't think it's Michigan Avenue. I think it was State Street, perhaps. I don't remember, but it was like, it was one of those things where it was sort of in the street and not so much, in the actual park near a lake. So.
Yeah, right now you kind of wonder how many Sox fans would show up, considering their fans don't even go to the games anymore.
No, I guess they had a reason to last night because the Hawks were on, but.
What about all the other games this year?
Yeah, I agree. And the Sox have been playing pretty well of late. They just swept the Astros, which is pretty exciting.
Did they sweep them or win 2 out of 3?
They swept the Astros,
Wow.
And they won 2 out of 3 in Houston against them. So they played well against that team.
Yeah,
It's really falling fast.
I know
now.
Carlos Rodon,
he
he
pitched really
beat
well
Dallas
last night.
Keuchel.
Yep, he pitched really well. That was Tuesday. He pitched really well.
And that was the game Carlos Correa hit his first career home run.
That's right. That was exciting. We'll probably see more of those.
Yeah, and I was actually just kind of going through and just kind of looking at some bad White Sox contracts. And I was thinking, man, that Melky Cabrera contract sure looks really bad when he's hitting .233.
Yeah, he is hitting.
And he got moved down to 7th in the order.
I think he's doing better now that he's moved to 7th. I don't know. He drove in a couple runs the last few games, but he hasn't really done anything all year. I think he still has the 1 home run.
Yeah, he has 1 home run. He's not walking at all.
It's because he's not taking steroids anymore. He can't hit the long ball anymore. I didn't like the signing when it happened. I really didn't.
No, it's one of those when you kind of laugh at the White Sox and Rick Hahn.
It's like, come on, that's the best option you could have at left field. Why not?
Diane Viciedo.
At this point, I think you'd rather have Diane Viciedo or try to get back Alejandro De Aza. He played well when he was with Baltimore. He played well in Baltimore. I don't know if he starts anymore.
He got traded to the Red Sox for cash considerations.
Okay, so maybe he slid back down again. Maybe not Alejandro De Aza, but still, right now it would be a better. It'd be a much cheaper and better option than Melky Cabrera now.
I'm sure De Aza could hit .230 and play good defense.
Melky Cabrera sucks.
He's making $15 million.
He sucks, and the only time he was good is when he was juicing.
That is a good point.
On Toronto.
Yeah, the White Sox.
It's not like he was on a good team. Toronto has the firepower to hit home runs, but other than that, they don't do much and they don't make the playoffs. So I don't know.
Right, and the MLB draft just happened. The Cubs selected outfielder Ian Happ with their first pick. The White Sox selected right-handed pitcher Carson Fulmer.
I thought it was interesting that the Cubs took 2 outfielders in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I thought they would have taken that pitcher in the second round.
I understand it because you're trying to make staple outfielders, and so Lair slid off, but obviously he'll be there. Fowler is there.
Yeah, they didn't take. I know this was a very thin catching draft, and
right.
I know there's other than the Tyler Stevenson, which I think the White Sox should have taken him because they need a catcher.
Oh. Yeah, do they ever need a catcher?
Yeah, you never hear the front office saying, "Oh, we might need a new catcher." All you hear is Rick Hahn sometimes saying they love the way Tyler Flowers plays the game.
Flowers is hard. At this point, Giovanni Soto is better than him.
Giovanni Soto is batting .215 or .210, and Flowers is hitting .192.
Right, and Giovanni Soto has a couple long balls, and I'm assuming he's not juicing anymore, although he could be taking steroids too. That's the problem with the White Sox right now. You're taking all these players who were good like 3-4 years ago, For Giovanni Soto, it was a little longer than that. It's been like 6 years since he's been good, and that's because these players were taking steroids. Giovanni Soto, when he won the Rookie of the Year in '08 with the Cubs, he was taking steroids then.
He tested positive for weed.
Yeah, he tested positive for weed, but I mean, something happened. Something happened. I think he was taking steroids. I just don't think it ever came out. Something happened. I mean,
I know he was facing a 25-game suspension for the weed and the marijuana.
Yeah, well, but that's a different thing. He obviously something happened to him because he was really good in 2008, 2009.
He was awful.
He was bad,
he was good
and then it just got. He had a bounce back year in 2010, and then after that, he just really fell off the face of the earth. He wasn't very good.
Yeah, he was really good in 2010. His rookie, he was never as good as he was in his rookie year.
Right. The problem was he was. He might have been good in 2010, but the team wasn't very good in 2010. So
no, it wasn't. It's kind of like the Sox and Gordon Beckham. He had a really good rookie year, and then he was terrible after that.
Right. Yeah, he did really well in his rookie year. I think that was 2009, right? Or
2009. He batted .280 with. I don't know how many home runs. He might have been
barely able to bat .240 ever since. So I don't know.
And now because Connor Gillespie's been playing so bad, Beckham has been getting some of his playing time.
Yeah, it's stupid that the White Sox added. I mean, Giovanni Soto's been okay as a backup for the Sox right now, but it's stupid that you would even consider adding him after he was cut by the. I know he was on Texas for a while, but
he got traded to Oakland. They let him leave as a free agent.
They let him leave as a free agent. If Oakland didn't want him, and they're horrible. If Oakland didn't want him, then obviously there's an issue. So. It's ridiculous. I think he was taking steroids personally. I know it never came out that he. I know he tested positive for marijuana, but that really shouldn't have anything to do with your performance.
Soto was a big guy. He is a big guy. I don't know if he's always.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I don't know. It's just. It's too much of a drop off. After being Rookie of the Year, it's like how Chris Coughlin was Rookie of the Year in 2007 or something, or 2009, and he fell off, and now he's back. He's played well the last week.
Yeah, he's got the average up to 230. He hit a long home run yesterday.
Was that a bomb? Him and Montero hit 2 bombs. Bomb 3-run homers last night. It was awesome to see.
Yeah, it was good to see the Cubs finally.
I'm just glad that they split with Detroit because, Detroit's a good team, as we know, and they're still probably going to win the AL Central, which they won. I wonder how many years in a row have the Tigers won the AL Central? Has it been consecutive years? It's been.
I think it's been since.
I think it's been since. It could be since 2010 when Minnesota won it in 2010. I think
no. Minnesota won in 2009. They won a tiebreaker.
Right.
And
I think in 2010 they won the division. It wasn't the Indians and it wasn't the White Sox. That's for sure.
No. I don't remember.
Unless it was Detroit, because it wasn't Kansas City. It was either Minnesota or Detroit in 2010.
I don't think Minnesota made it back to the playoffs after they got swept by the Yankees in 2009.
Either way, it's been. Detroit's been the best team in that division by far, with the exception of last year when Kansas City, and now Kansas City, is still pretty good. I think they're leading the division right now.
What's going on with the Twins? Why are they winning all these games?
Well, they're starting to slide. They lost 2 or 3 to the Brewers last weekend, and I think they're on a losing streak right now. They lost 2 or 3 or got swept by Kansas City. I'll check that out in a second here.
Yeah, did you see the Torrey Hunter ejection yesterday? He took off his clothes.
I did see the video of that. And by the way, the strikeout call was awful.
It was an awful call, so I was just kind of wondering. The funny thing is he never threw a tantrum. He was never screaming at the umpire. He was just kind of like, yeah, screw you, and took off his clothes, slammed his bat, started waving at him.
Yeah, I agree.
That was a classic Torrey Hunter ejection.
Let's see. Minnesota's on a 3-game losing streak. They are 2 games back of Kansas City now. Kansas City leads the division by 2 games, and they are on a 4-game winning streak. They've been playing really well the last, the last 5 games pretty much. Detroit sits 4.5 back. White Sox only 2 games back of Detroit after their nice 3-game winning streak that they have going right now. And as I said, Houston has lost 7 in a row now. Now they play Seattle. Seattle's starting to get back into the thick of things.
Yeah, the only problem with Seattle is Robinson Cano.
Yes, that is an issue, obviously.
Yeah, batting .240 while making $24 million.
And going back to that in 2010, Detroit did win, Minnesota did win the division, and the White Sox actually finished in second place in 2010. Who would have thought?
Wow.
They had an 88 win season, which is pretty good, and Minnesota did win the division in
That's right, because in the next offseason, the Tigers signed Prince Fielder.
Next offseason, Detroit ran away with the division. Oh, my gosh. In 2011, they ran away with the division, 95 wins. The next best team were the Cleveland Indians at 80 wins, so that was a 15-game lead.
And then that offseason, they signed Prince Fielder because Victor Martinez went down with an injury.
Yeah, in 2012, that was when the White Sox were holding on there at the end, but they lost too many games in a row. Detroit won that division by 3 games to the White Sox. That was an 88-win season. Yeah, so they've been winning it ever since 2011. So 2011, 12, 13, 14. So that's 4 consecutive seasons that they've won.
It'll be interesting. It's a big competition right now between them, the Royals, and the Twins, which I don't think the Twins will win the division. Except you never know with the Indians. They've got on a hot streak.
They've got on a hot streak. A lot of people earlier in the season had them going. Had them going pretty far.
Had them winning the World Series. I mean, that's too much.
Did they have? I think it was the Indians against the Nationals or something.
Yeah,
I mean, the Nationals certainly could make the World Series and could certainly win it, but the Cleveland Indians probably, in my opinion, they're not going to make the postseason.
No.
Earlier in the season, I mean, before the season started, I probably. In fact, I don't remember who I picked. I might have picked the Indians to win the division. I probably picked Detroit just because
I went with Detroit.
It trended that way, and Kansas City with a possible wild card.
Yeah.
But
and don't get me
it's going to be interesting.
The White Sox won't be winning it. They're just not a good team. Their starting pitching is nothing short of terrible.
Right.
And also, if you just look at a box score every game just to see their lineup, the batting averages are a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I'm going to pull up last night's lineup.
There was something. I think it was Dan Bernstein who tweeted out something. It was something. It was like a chart, or it was like a new way of computing stats for like teams and stuff in baseball. And right now the Sox are 28-30. And they really, according to that chart that Dan Bernstein tweeted out, they should really have 7 less wins than they do. The way that they're playing, they're outperforming their chart by 7 games.
Yeah,
which is very surprising.
Yeah, their starting pitching, in the bullpen has not been good. So Adam Eaton's hitting .233. Alexi Ramirez.
Oh, but he's the best leadoff hitter in the game, Hawk Harrelson.
Yeah, Alexi Ramirez is hitting .234.
Oh, but he was good in 2008, so he must still be good now.
Yeah, Hawk Harrelson. Marcus Semien for Oakland is hitting .280 with like 7 home runs.
Yeah, that's ending up.
Abreu's hitting .279.
Yeah.
Avisail Garcia is hitting .294.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Adam LaRoche is hitting .238.
And I mean, he may heat up. I would venture to say that he won't, just because he's making the transition from National League to American League.
Giovanni Soto is hitting .210. Melky Cabrera is hitting .233.
It's not getting any better either.
Gordon Beckham's hitting .248.
Well, that's expected.
Tyler Flowers is hitting .197.
Way to go, Tyler.
Emilio Bonifacio is hitting .186.
He's been really bad. It's funny because last year with the Cubs, he started really off. Good. I mean, on that hot start, he was batting like .500.
And don't forget, Carlos Sanchez is hitting .155.
Yes, let's not forget. Yes, let's keep Micah Johnson down and bring up Carlos Sanchez when he was hitting like what 260, 270, something like that.
275.
Yeah, he was doing really well, but he needs more developing.
Yeah, Zach Duke, who got a $15 million contract from the Sox in the offseason, has a .430 ERA.
Zach Duke's been bad. The rest of the bullpen hasn't been horrible. There's been certain guys you can pinpoint. that have done bad.
Dan Jennings has been bad.
Oh yeah, I know Dan Jennings has been bad, but like for instance, I mean, the Cubs bullpen has been bad too, and that's
Dude, Joe Madden was asked today about an update on